Good afternoon, everybody. Well, I'm here obviously today talking from a company called Just Search. We're the platinum sponsors of AdTech today. So what's my greatest achievement? It's taking Just Search to #1 in Google UK for the term SEO. So obviously, if I've been able to do it for our company, for our clients and prospective business partners, we can obviously achieve the same thing. The synopsis of why we actually came up with the seminar was to actually think of the question, how do you create a successful website which not only sticks out from the rest, but is a sensor for your users and the people that are actually going to be buying your products and services. To get straight into it, I think it's very important when we're talking about how to make a successful website is we need to think of the overall strategy that how we're going to break into this market. So we need to look at the past, the present and the future. So if we focus on the past, we need to look at what's your industry, who's been successful in it, how have they done it, is it offline, is it online, is it brand? Are they the same? Have you got a different identity? Or what are you trying to actually achieve? And you've got to look at the fact that some industries are far more competitive than others. So you need to think about who the big players are. What if they've got large turnovers? And actually what they've done to achieve success. Is it through SEO? Is it through PPC? Is it through display advertising? It then takes us on to actually looking at the market today. So what you're actually trying to achieve and what are the latest technologies you can use for your website. And again, it's the actual plan of action of how you're going to achieve this. Creating your online business model is one of the biggest things to create success in your website. So actually looking at the past and the present, and then again actually focusing on the future, is how you can actually create an online successful plan. So from the future perspective, we need to look at what the emerging technologies are and what your long-term goals. Should you incorporate any new technologies such as iPhones, widgets or Facebook applications? What I'm going to break down now is the actual how we're going to focus on our online strategy. So we've sat down, you've got your business idea, or it might be a current business that you want to actually revamp. And for that success, we need to look at the architecture, how the site's going to be evolved, the design, the content, how you're actually going to build the traffic, how you're actually going to convert and the usability of your website. And then again, actually building up your brand and your reputation. But overall, it's hard work which brings it all together. So firstly, it's the architecture. So we need to think about the structure of the website. How are you going to plan this out? If you've planned it early, it helps minimize on costs at a later point. Because this planning strategy is in phase, it will help you to be actually able to construct your website properly. But also the point with your architecture is how you actually resell your own services. It's quite common from websites that you'll go onto one product and they won't actually resell an existing or related product. And I'll give you an example. I was with my wife last night and she was looking for related products to the pram that we want to buy. And it was the actual Mothercare website, and it turns out when you actually went on the pram, it gave you two related products, but it wouldn't actually give you the stream of other related products. And once you start going through 2 or 3 pages, you tend to get a bit bored and you go off the site and look somewhere else. So we're then going to look at the actual design. Very simple coding. Make sure the loading speeds very quickly. I'm sure you've all had it where you get onto a website and if it takes too long, you go off and move on. Or if it just simply part of the site doesn't come up, again, you move on. So in essence, that's a lost conversion. So creating a low code to content ratio and having small file sizes, and you can do that by putting your script in externally, that can help the speed of what it's going to download and actually making it simple for search engines to pick up the information. And then avoid things like brochure designs. They're not particularly usable, and any sort of non-friendly applications. Having a full Flash website doesn't help to a successful website. You can optimize Flash websites in a way, but it's never really going to work as well as a full HTML site because of how the movie player gets there and the number of pages that a website has. And then we focus on the usability. And I've just put 9 points down here, which are just simple rules of usability. Having things like hyperlinks that don't look like links. People won't know to click on them or be confused. The best rule, I think, is called the 99% rule, and it's what people don't normally like to do because everybody wants to be different. Every business thinks we need to do it different from how everybody else in the market's doing. But in fact, with usability, if you look at Google, all the links are in blue because that's what you associate. If you open up a Word document and put a link in, it's in blue. It's just the general rule of thumb. So we talked about architecture, design. We'll go on to the content, what you're actually presenting. So it's the age-old fact that we use in the SEO industry. Why is content good? Well, of course, content is king. So Can you utilize user-generated content for your business? Have blogs and forums and actually encourage a community around your website and your products and services. And actually help use reviews and testimonials, which I'll talk a little bit in a little while, because reviews and testimonials you want from an independent basis. So why would you add content? I mean, we advise at Just Search to add a news article every day to your website or add something interesting. And you do that because the more pages on your site, the more information which can be indexed. You can look at the long tail search keywords. You'll get faster indexing where actually Google will spider you more often because your site updates more often. And then it can generate discussion, solicit inquiries and actually promote the community, repeat visits and actual subscribers. But also from the point of, but again we did it with SEO tools, adding useful tools to the site, attracted links. So there we've added sort of 5 different SEO tools, an article of text, and it's gained us 500 links, which is the perfect way to build links. So we talked about architecture, design, content, and building traffic is what we talk about next. So the first one, which is where my particular expertise lies, is SEO. So it again comes down to how you think about the architecture, using a simple directory structure, making sure the site's easily indexed, actually how you interlink the site in the navigation, and simple things like having search engine friendly URLs, having a general sitemap, having an XML sitemap, and then actually planning your pages. It works well with the usability where you need to plan your heading and strap lines, but you also need to think from the SEO perspective, how you're planning your text semantically, and the keyword density and how it's positioned on the page. And then you've got your link building side, so that's the on page, your link building side. Now, Google recommends itself, submit your site to directories. So try Demos, Yahoo, and various business directories or related niche directories. I'm not really going to talk about paid links, but I'd just say making sure that you avoid things like link farms, avoid link brokers, and avoid site-wide links. And then we get into actually what I like to call the psychology of search, and it's how you utilize actually PPC and SEO together. When you're looking at Google, you'll see this is our retail space. So if you can present yourself there twice, you're twice as likely to be clicked on. But it's also the point of, I call it the Darren Brown theory, because it gets into your subconscious mind. Without realizing it, you've gone onto Google, you've done a search, and there's 2 instances of someone's name there. You're more likely to click on it. So we've talked about architecture, design, content, building traffic. We need to look at the analytics or the conversion, or back to the usability of what actually, once your site's made, we plan the online business plan, we're actually putting it into place now. So we need to analyze what incoming search data you've got. You've obviously put the plan in action, but you need to see what's happening. And from that, if you're getting searches, you might be able to build new pages related to the searches coming in, helping it to rank higher. And that sort of thing can have a massive impact on a business. Or you can take it to the real far extent and actually use things like laser eye tracking. But the key thing is try different things. Predictive profiling is actually a tool that we use, and it's a case where a Google search is made, the user lands on your website, and then we can actually track that X% of those users made the call to action at page A. So what we can actually do is try and present that information further up down the funnel process, which again helps with your SEO. So you can see how a lot of the plan is all coming together here for our online business plan. So the next point, of course, is brand and your reputation management. So it actually means looking at the first few pages of Google and being aware, getting things like Google Alerts to actually see what people are talking about. How's your social media representation? And actually create other sites. Make sure you've got a Twitter account, a Facebook account, a LinkedIn account, and all this for your business, not just from the personal perspective, because this all will all help promote your brand. And then when you talk about budget, it is the case that you need to use your money wisely, but you've got to remember that sometimes it is a gamble and you're not going to see a definite ROI from one form of marketing. Putting it all together is what's going to bring the success of your website. And then just don't leave it there. Constantly monitor it. How can you improve? What are your competitors doing? Have they brought something out that you've not thought about? You need to jump on board and make sure that you're keeping up with them. And you can see that's where the seminars come from. So it's all based on sound knowledge. So guys, thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions?